Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. This time, Ghoti. Now, you know me. I play a ton of budget decks. I'm trying to go through these one by one to try and share with you, my deck profiles. Today, let's take a look at Ghoti. This has been my favorite in last season in ranked. I mean, Synchro Festival, great idea to show this off too. Great time to show this off, right? You could ignore these two links for the Synchro Festival, but basically this deck, so it can brick sometimes. Like, not every hand is always playable. Like, this is not, like a top tier deck, but for, like a rogue, semi-competitive deck, you could take out the Sword Soul guys. You could take out even tier elements if you're lucky. This deck could really put in some work. The cards are still in the shop. If you have coins to get them. I could go through these card by card. I'm not really running an expensive version of this. I know there's a lot of URs and SRs in here, but I can show you some alternates and like which cards you really need to make this deck work. But my profiles are always budget. I'm a casual player, so I'll show you what what can work, and I'll show you some simple combos in solo mode. So let's get started. As you can see, just taking a brief look, there's not too many hand traps. I actually am running 2 Ash, 2 Imperms, and 2 evenly matched, and then the 2 call buys. I stuck in a Kaiju, and then the rest of the deck is basically, besides the Mystical Space Typhoon and the Harpies, it's basically engine for this deck. So what does Ghotis do? So Ghotis are fish, synchros that basically their boards look kind of weird, on your main phase, or on your end phase, but on your opponent's turn you could basically quick effect synchro. See, during your opponent's main phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, which you'll do, I'll show you how it's done, but basically you banish this card yourself, this monster yourself, then you quick effect special summon on the opponent's turn, and then you could synchro summon into one of your Ghoti monsters. So usually you'd start with this one, then using this you would synchro again into like 8, or the best case would be into 10, because this one is basically a full board banish. So it says if this card is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, but yeah, it has to be on your opponent's turn, right? You can banish all cards on the field, and then you could just bring this back. So you could get a lot of surrenders when you banish the opponent's field. So the fragileness of this deck, so basically if they have a well-timed like imperm or monster negate, like it could really ruin your whole combo. So that's like the downside to this deck. But when you could pull it off, and for example, the opponent does not have a monster negate ready to slow you down during the opponent's turn, right? Then you could really mess up their board and either make them surrender, or you just continue with your plays and beat them down. So I really enjoy this deck. So let's get through the deck profile. So Psy Reflector, this is kind of like a small engine that you run. So you run 2, you could run 3 if you have room for them. Run 3 of these with Assault Beast, which is right here, and Assault Mode activate. So basically it's like a small combo with emergency teleport. So without your normal summon, you can special summon Psy Reflector. This adds Assault Beast to your hand. Then you discard this to get Assault Mode activate. And then from there you can go into different synchros, but what you wanted to go into is basically the 6, because this basically starts up your plays, the Ariano posts. So yeah, that's the basic engine with Psy Reflector. I could show you more in the combo replays. This is, you know, Kurikara. I added this in recently. The Charmer guys in the Discord recommended this card. It's really cool when it works, but usually it's kind of dead in your hand. So I'd recommend taking this out. Like if you have Nibiru, it's probably better to stick it in. You know, Nibiru from the bundle. That's probably better than this. I'm just kind of like testing it out in my decks, but you definitely don't need this card. So you do need 3 of these Paces. This is one of the starters. You normal summon this, and then you banish it using its own effect. Then it really jumpstarts your plays because it's a tuner. Shift is another tuner. Basically, you could search for this either using the field spell, which aren't mandatory, by the way. You know, I got these from the pack that's still open. I did not craft these, so I got lucky with 3 of these. So if you can get them, as it helps to extend your plays or give you another option. Because it basically says you can banish a fish from your hand or grave, add a Ghoti from your deck to your hand, and then you can banish another one for another card. So it really adds like a little bit of extension. So I know these are URs, but you could live without it. Let's get back to the monsters. So this is, so as I said, Shift is one of the cards you could search off of Paces. So it says, oh sorry, this is from the hand, not Paces. There's another one that searches from the deck. When we get to that monster, I'll show it to you. But basically, there's Lifeless Leafish. When this card is summoned, so either normal or special, you can send a fish from your deck to the grave. So that would be Shift. That's the target that you want. So you typically do not want to see this in your hand. You kind of just want to send it through another card. And basically this can banish itself from the grave and then return as a tuner on the opponent's turn. The next one is Zep. This is one that you could banish from your hand, but you would need a fish in your grave to, you know, fully complete the resolution, I guess is the word. So it's also not that great to have in your hand unless you have a fish in your grave. So, you know, all of these have that text at the end that basically says quick effect, you can synchro on your opponent's turn, which is like the basic combo of Ghoti. Assault Synchron, I got this, you know, through the pack that's still open, you know, by the way. So, you know, pull these if you can. It's not a mandatory card. It's just really good because it's basically a free special summon for 700 life points. But you're locked into synchros, which doesn't really matter in Ghotis, but it may matter to you in another deck. But this is a really strong free tuner, free level 2 tuner, basically. Fire Ant Ascator. This works with Ascator. I pulled this from a pack. I mean, you could craft it if you want. The other one you could go for if you're looking for more no normal summon engines is Supe. I didn't make this card, but basically you get a free level 8. So it says you can discard a card, special summon this hand from your hand, and you can special summon Supe, which is, oh sorry, this is a free level 6. Yeah, so this is really what you want, you know, if you're gonna craft it, but because basically this will give me a free level 8 because this says you could special summon a fire ant Ascator, which is a 3 tuner. So you know you're gonna get a free 8, which is like white oral whale, Psy-frame Omega. You wouldn't really go into this unless you had a link monster in the grave. You could go into one of these 8s. So the one I have in here is not bad, but the Supe is better. Just to let you know. Alright, moving on. I spoke about the Ash Blossoms. You know, the hand trips are kind of limited in this deck, but you know you're all about disruption with your play, so hopefully you don't need to rely on your Ash Blossoms for this deck. Assault Beast we spoke about. Silent Angler. So this is kind of like an extender, right? If you control a water, you can special summon this from your hand, but you cannot special summon from your hand for the rest of the turn, which isn't really a big thing that comes up in this deck. You know, you can kind of just save this for last if you need the extra level 4 material. So that's why I'm only running one of these, because the number is a little weird for this deck, because you typically want like you know, well, let me rephrase it. The 4 and the 2 would work together well, you know, to make the 6. So, you know, it's nice as a one of. I don't really think it's really that good, 2 or more, but you can try it out if you want. I'm not like an expert at this deck yet. We spoke about Lifeless Leaf Fish. It actually has another effect, where if this is in the grave, you can banish this and target 3 fish in your grave, shuffle those into the deck, and draw a card. So this is a really nice card. You could probably run this at 3 if you have the room for it. It's a good normal summon. Ixkeep. I barely use this card. If a fish is banished, you can special summon this from your hand. Okay. So it's kind of an extender. During the standby, you can target one of your Ghoti traps. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is probably one you could reduce. During the stand phase, you can target one of your Ghoti traps that is banished or in your grave, set it. So I'm running 2 Ghoti traps. I mean, it's not bad. I'm going to keep this ratio as is, but you know, if you're not running too many of the Ghoti traps, let's take a look at them. Then, you know, it may not be that worthwhile to you. I got this from the pack, so that's why I'm running it. It's not necessary. It's nice to bring back one of your banished Ghotis. This one I'm not even running. What does this even say? Apply these based on the number of banished fish monsters. So yeah, you need to set up this card. 1 fish. Your fish monsters cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Not bad. But then it jumps to 4+. The activation and effects of fish monster effects on your field cannot be negated this turn. I mean, it's not bad. You know, like I was saying, you know, Ghoti is weak to monster negation, so this is the way to protect it. I mean, I wouldn't run this. For getting 4 fish in the banish zone is not hard, but it's like a turn 2+ thing. You know, you're not gonna do that turn 1 normally. And then 8+, special summon a fish synchro from your extra deck. This is treated as, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, this seems like the term is like win more. Like if you have 8, you know, banished fish monsters, you're probably winning the game already, right? Because you got a lot of your engine pieces ready to come back and synchro. So yeah, I don't know how good this card is. But Ghoti Fury is pretty good because basically you could target a fish you control and 1 monster that your opponent controls, banish both until your next standby. So it's pretty good. It has a secondary effect which isn't that useful. Alright, let's get back to these monsters. So I found this in the recent pack. When a monster's effect is activated, you can special summon this from your hand. You can banish a face-up fish monster, then target a face-up card on the field and negate its effects. So it's kind of situational. I like it. I haven't used it much, to be honest, but it has a monster negate, so I'm just running it. It's cheap. It's a R, so you could test it if you want. I don't think it's necessary for this deck. Ascator we spoke about. Ice Jade. So this is just kind of like an extender that I just kind of added. It's probably not that useful. You can send this from your hand to the grave, special summon a water from your hand. So it's literally just to special summon a monster. So say, you know, you want to extend your plays, or you want to bring in one of the level 6 monsters on board. This can pair well with these guys, but you know, not necessary at all. So Enoch, if this card is normal or special, normal being like a tribute summon, you can target one of your banished level 4 fish, special summon it, but negate its effects. You can banish a fish from your hand or field, add a Ghoti trap. So this searches your traps. It's not bad, but not that great either. So I'm just running one. I don't even know if people typically run one. I just like to have access to all the different techs, right? So you could probably cut this out, unless you like the traps also as well. Snopios, during the main phase, you could banish 2 from your hand or grave. Special summon this from your hand. This is a nice card. If this card is special, you could target a face-up card on the field, banish it when it leaves the field. It's a decent effect to attach to your monsters. Like, you know, if you feel like they're gonna come back if they were sent to the graveyard, you can just banish them with this effect, you know, after destruction. If this card is banished, you could banish a fish from your grave, add this to your hand. So it kind of recycles itself. This card is pretty good. I don't know about running 3, but running 2 was pretty good. Gameciel, you know, I can't live without kaijus. I can't live without harpies, so I run them. We spoke about the field spell. It's nice, but it's not necessary. Mystical Space Typhoon, I love destroying the back row, so I can't live without this. Cosmic Cyclone is better if you have it. We talked about these. This is just to stop Max C and Ash, the call buys. Assault Bow activate, you only need 1 for the combo, because you don't want to brick on it. Evenly matched. If you have 3 of these, run 3 of these. This is the best way to equalize, you know, with like bad starting hands, going second. This is literally that, like, if you could squeeze this card into every deck, 3 of these, you're gonna win many more of your matches. Like this could even stop like a Max C advantage. Like, let's say the opponent is running Max C and they get a bunch of cards, and you let them, and then, you know, you kind of stop your turn, you let them combo off. Say you set this and then they get into battle, you could banish, you know, all of their cards except 1. So this is a really strong card for SR, so I highly recommend you get this for all your decks that could fit it. Imperm, you know, I just wanted to squeeze in some hand traps, so you can include it if you have it. And we spoke about the traps. So let's move on to the extra deck monsters. This is the main engine, Ionopos. You would synchro from that into Ascan, and then you would synchro from this into Ghoti. So I'll try and show it to you in the replay, in the solo mode. Hopefully I could get a combo off for you. And then I'm just running some generic synchros like Omega. I mean, this could be changed to Berserker Tenyi if you want. You know, you got White Aura Whale, which destroys attack position monsters. This Googlum, which I got off the pack. It's okay. I mean, at the start of the damage step, you could banish an opponent's monster. So it's okay. It's not that great. I got Baron de Fleur, Sword Soul Supreme, Ghoti, which if you have two of these, you should definitely run two, because its effect is if this card is synchro summoned, so it's not anytime it's summoned, you know, like from the graveyard or from the banished zone. So if you have two of these, it's better to provide disruption. This I got in the pack. It's actually really cool. In the mirror match especially. I just had a match where I faced a Ghoti player, and I was playing Sword Soul, I believe, and I made this card and they couldn't banish any of my monsters, so they were kind of screwed. Psychic End Punisher, you know, why not? Why not run this card? And then these two is just generic Link waters that you could go into, like, you know, if your plays get stopped, you know, or as an extension. So yeah, I'm actually gonna get rid of this and put in Berserker Tenyi, because I feel like a monster negate would be better than the hand grip effect of Omega. Although Omega can return your banished card, so that's probably why I was running. So that's something to keep in mind. Let me show you. Where is he? Here. So he says, so you banish this and another card until your next standby. Once per turn, you can target a banished card, return it to the grave. And then it says, if this card is in the grave, you could target one other card in the grave, shuffle both that and this from the grave into the deck. So this kind of recycles a bunch of cards. So it's not bad. So this is probably why I included this. Let's jump into solo mode. Alright. Finally had some time to record this video, so I'm happy I was able to do this. Alright, so I don't know if I explained it, but this is a going first deck. You always want to go first to set up your fish in the banish zone. So here, you know, as you can see, you got Pacey's, Schiff, 2 Ash that are probably kind of dead against the AI, and Ixkeep. Right? So the standard play is you normal summon this, then you banish this, and then you could special summon anything. So let's special summon Schiff, because Ixkeep could special summon itself. So this is pretty good hand. So I can go into a 6 immediately. So let's do that. This typically doesn't happen. This is a pretty good hand. Typically you banish Pacey's and that's basically your turn. Okay. If this card is synchroed, you can banish a level 6 from your deck. So let's do that. So this is already in the grave, so let's not do that. And this is, yeah, let's stay away from those 2 cards. Let's go for something else, like Zep. Or I could go with one of these, but yeah, let's go with Zep. So Shift says you can banish this from your grave, and then this can return. So let's do that. The reason why I think this deck is so fun, it's just basically like click yes to everything and then see what happens. So let's see what happens. Yeah, there's nothing to set, so. And then, sorry, you should turn your toggle to on. I had it on auto, but you should turn it to on so you don't miss any, you know, these effects that activate. So it says activate the effect of Pacey. So, you have to bring these back in the standby phase. So just bring all your fish back. Boom. Bring shift back. Boom. And I'm gonna say no to that. Ash Blossom came in handy. So it says you can immediately synchro. We're not gonna do that yet. Not yet. Do you have any plays, AI? Okay. So we have options, right? So I have the level 6 on board with 2 level 2 tuners. So I can go into an 8, right? So that means I can go into Omega, which we spoke about. This destroys attack position monsters, but it has no other banished effects because it's not part of the archetype. So Ascan. If this card is synchroed, you can target a fish you control and one your opponent controls, banish them. So let's do this. So this is like, you know, the standard play. So let's only synchro with one of them, right? Let's go into Ascan. So imagine, you know, the opponent put like, you know, junk speeder or something they have to really resolve on the field. So you would just interrupt them. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target a fish in your grave, banish that. Yeah, why not? Like I said, this is just, you know, say yes to everything. You say no to that. So what do you add to your hand? Lifeless Leaf Fish is a decent one. This one is also pretty good. Is that the Flesh Summon as well? So this says if this is if this is banished, you can banish a fish from your grave. Let's do that. So let's banish the synchro. Why not? And water effect is activated, so yeah, why not? Click yes to everything. I mean, you know, at the right time, right? You can't just willy-nilly click yes to everything, but so we can synchro now, but let's not do that yet. Oh, we ended his turn. That's no fun. So we hard drew the Psy Reflector. So the opponent, you know, took away our like I couldn't show you Ghoti of the Beyond, but I'll try and do it next turn, right? So let's go into Alright, let's get the Psy Reflector engine going first. So add Salt Beast. No, we will not negate that. Alright, so you activate a Salt Beast. You get activate. Then you activate this effect to bring this back in. Okay. So the options, right? You can go into up to a level 9, I believe. If you increase the level of Salt Beast by 4. So we could either do 8 or 6. So let's do 8. So a lot of options here. Yeah, let me show you this one. Whoa. Let's not get greedy. Let's just stick to the plan. Yeah, let's do the Omega. Keep things simple. So let's activate his effect. Banish both. Okay. Now we can go into Ghoti on their next turn. So let's leave everything as is. Let's just go into attack mode. So basically, every turn you're hoping to like disrupt the opponent, wipe their board, and then set up next turn synchros. So you know, I have a few monsters in my banish zone. Hopefully they'll come back next turn. Let's see what happens. What? He ended his turn. Alright, so I get Omega back and they get a card back. Alright, let's just go into Ghoti. Oh, okay. I can do it in the opponent's turn. I just want to show you the board banish. Yeah. And let's banish a card from their hands too. Why not? Alright, so that will come back next turn. Let's just go into attack here. Let's not end this. I want to show you the field banish. And we'll bring this back. We'll let that resolve. Okay. Say their field is full, right? Because they're not going to get any other monsters. So then we have the 8 on board, so let's go to the 10. There's a cool animation too. Why not? And then you only have one chance to do this, to activate it, so you may as well banish everything. And then Ghoti of the Deep comes back. And so do your, you know, fish monsters. As long as they're, you know, Ghotis, they'll all come back. Let's bring it back here. Ghoti of the Deep comes back here. Omega comes back. And there you go. That's how you do it. So Ghoti is really fun. And this gets attacked based on the number of banished fish, I believe. Oh, banished monsters. So it gets big. So that is basically Ghoti. It's really fun. To me, it's really fun. Disrupting the opponent. And a lot of people don't know how this deck works, so they don't know how to stop it. But like I said, it's not a perfect deck. You know, Monster Gate at the right time would really mess up your, you know, board wipes. But this deck is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the profile and the replay. I hope to see you in the next video.